Good evening and good day to you, ladies and gentlemen, watching live here with us on Speed Zone TV as we are now back with you once more. We are here down in Chicagoland Speedway here in Joliet, Illinois, and today we're about to present to you the NASR flagship race. This is their final opportunity to make it into the cutoff rounds. This is round number 2 and race number 2 of the NASR playoffs. Hi, everyone, and welcome back here live on the show. I am, of course, the Dead Man, the hot mic, and the one that everyone says probably shouldn't have a mic sometimes, but yet here I am anyway. So, the National Association of Sim Racing, NASR, or NASR, if you will, then they are ready to get down to dirty here and ready to fire it up here with a whole lot of openings and opportunity at their stake today as they're getting squared up and ready to go at it and down into the racetrack here. Currently, our fastest seed is Daniel Balder in the number 2 Chevrolet Silverado. A mix of all 4 series in this. For the first time, we will see the Ram truck in action as one of these drivers will be running it. We do have Chevys in store, as I mentioned a second ago. And of course, you will be seeing the Toyotas and Fords in this bunch. As drivers are footing up their final times on the shot here, Matthew Greathouse has landed the fastest time of the day. So that's going to give us some time to go ahead and chit-chat with him real quick. He's joining us real quick here into the booth here, and Matthew Greathouse laying down a banger of a lap down there. I mean, man, Matthew, that's got to be definitely feeling pretty good there, knowing that 30.62 is honestly going to be the one everyone's going to be trying to hunt you down with today, isn't it?
Yeah, man, it feels good to get on the pole because it's a point, and we need all the points we can get tonight. So yeah, just good to start the night out on a good note and see where it goes from here. Tires are gonna mean everything tonight, and just trying to stay out of trouble. Truck is really tight in traffic, so we'll see if we can kind of set the pace, save a little tire at the same time, and just give it our best tonight. Yeah, it's gonna be a fun night, hopefully, and it's good starting the race out with a clean windshield for sure.
Absolutely there. Well, Matthew, we do appreciate your time here. Good luck as you get ready to get down and dirty here with your team at Lucky Dog Racing.
Thanks, appreciate it.
That was Matthew Greathouse, ladies and gentlemen, there on the call. Going to talk with one of our other drivers real quick here on the spotlight here, as it looks like we'll have another driver to chat with us here. We're going to bring in our second fastest seed. This is our second fastest seed right here, Daniel Balder in the number 2 machine. And Daniel, you got that second fastest time there. We just talked with one of your guys down there and really trying to set a time and get some points on the board. I mean, for you and your crew, I mean, that's kind of what it's all about here at Chicagoland today, isn't it?
Yeah, I just need a good starting spot and hopefully stay up front and be able to hold some guys behind us there. It was pretty wicked with the update that they had a few weeks ago. So
And with the way Chicagoland runs around here, I got to ask you, I mean, are you kind of worried about the way that that draft and the packs might kind of affect in terms of all 4 trucks being put on the show here today?
sorry, you might have to repeat that. I had race control talking there.
With the way with the way all 4 manufacturers are now on the circuit here, and the way the draft trains and packs are going to be kind of set up around here in Chicagoland, is pit strategy as well as running the pack going to be very tough here? You think today?
Yeah, I think it's gonna be tough to navigate. We'll see. We'll see how well everybody stays together. I think we're gonna have to pit before the stage, but I don't think any of us can afford to take tires. So I think at least before the stage, tires are gonna become a thing. So hopefully maybe we spread out a little bit.
All right, for sure there. Well, nevertheless, Daniel, appreciate your time down there. Good luck and good racing to you, both you and your teams down there.
All right, thanks, man.
Daniel Balder, ladies and gentlemen. And with that, we are now getting ready to send it on down. It is race time here, race fans. With that said, we'll take a look quickly at our racetrack info today. Joliet is our city, 1.5 miles in length. Chicagoland Speedway, closest thing that in terms of a big mile track you're going to see to a true definitive circular type track. But this trioval slash old Chicago style race course is going to really teach these drivers how you handle the turns and how you make up the speeds. Very hard on the throttle and always very clever in their approach. Here is your starting lineup here down in Joliet, ladies and gentlemen, on the pole. We just talked to him. It's Matthew Greathouse on the number 51 on the outside. The number 2 is Daniel Balder. Row number 2 in the number 9, it's Michael Larch. The outside, and the number 1 is going to be Trevor Williams. Row number 3, it's Jake Loesch. In the number 7, the outside, it is Riley Mobley in the number 05. Row number 4 is the number 46 of Dalton McKinney. The outside, the number 4 is Kevin Asiano. Row number 5, and the number 11 is Dan Park. Outside, it is Bo Tiffany and the 35. Row number 6, and the number 114, it is Travis Decker. The outside, that 54 is Jason Kratke. Row 7, and the 21, it's Ben Park. The outside, in the number 17, Anthony Brown. Row number 9 is going to, row number 8 is going to be set by the number 19 of Sean Harrell. And the outside, in that 84, Sean Long. Row 9 is going to be Patrick Dobrensky. And the 14, the outside, and the 18 is Devin Gargliano on the 8. And then finally, shotgun of the field. And the number 31, it's Johnny Williams. Race fans, it is showtime around here. And these drivers are ready to get at it and get to fighting down here on the track. Major points and opposition on the line here. Everybody wants a piece of the pie, but only one driver is going to come out on top and possibly take his way to the top seeds. Which one shall it be? Which one will get to reign supreme? You're about to find that out right here and now. Every single one of these drivers preparing themselves up for battle. Each one of them is fit and geared with a strategy to race the other versus what the other driver wants to do. Who is going to come out on top and who is going to take this one home? We're about to find out here right here and now. $120 laps to the distance as these drivers are set now to the pace. Off down from the corner, ready for the green flag. He stands high in the sky. He'll bring it down, waving them by. Green flag's out. It is the NASR playoffs at Chicagoland. Hot start out of the gate for Matthew Greathouse. Daniel Balder looking on the outside here as they keep him nice and tight off of turn 2. Down that crookedy ratchet back straightaway there as it is now sending drivers for a bit of a loop. Again, all drivers are going to be staying hot on that throttle throughout because of the fact that this track corners and turns in all the time. Tire wear is going to be a big factor as much as speed will be a crux and Achilles heel for some. Control is everything here. I just heard a second ago with his Lucky Dog Racing team. He's currently got his other guy there, Daniel Balder, working hard to work with him on that top half down and around the back. But right behind him there is Michael Larch in the number 9 iRacing.com machine, Silverado. Trying to keep the paces brewing and keeping the speeds up and burning. But you got to be telling yourself constantly through and through, don't let up on the throttle and don't let up on the speed. Just keep yourself occupied and keep yourself under control. Jason Kratke in that 54 machine right now. He is still trying to find some runs and some leeway here as he fell back one spot. Started in 12th, currently in the 13th position. Again, 120 laps here, folks. Again, these drivers are going to be constantly in the throttle as much as they'll be constantly trying to save those tires and fuel. Pit strategies and fuel runs are going to be very, very big here. Watch for the drivers to get into pit road as soon as they can and get themselves squared up and hope that they don't end up in the receiving end of trouble on any stretch of this one. Dan Park in the number 11 machine, Toyota Tundra went 2, now back to 3. Was 3 spots up originally, but then fell back a second ago because he had company on his doorstep. The 05 of Riley Mobley. Mobley in the Forge by the Sea Navy Silverado. trying to put something up on one of the only Tundras on the store. Again, all 4 manufacturers in this race today. And I do say 4. We've seen the Ford, we've seen the Toyota, and we have seen the Chevy. But for the first time here on Speed Zone TV, the Ram makes his appearance. Johnny Williams, the only driver tonight in the number 31, representing for the Mopar Dodge scheme. Dodge, of course, and Ram obviously coming back into the NASCAR fold here in 2026. Still looking for success out on the track, but nevertheless, always great to see more manufacturers and more cars and trucks get into the mix, and more manufacturers showing what they can bring to the table when they are allowed to. We will have a stage break at lap number 40 here, and we will, of course, be hearing from our RC guy tonight. His name is Willie Babb. You may have heard that name before. But I have an old rival of mine, too, if you can believe it. I had to race him quite a few times, so it's kind of nice he's on the RC booth. I can kind of chat with him rather than having to go at him sometimes. Speaking of going at a little bit, Dan Park there, number 20, and the number 11, seeing some company come up from Ben Park's side, because Bo Tiffany and the number 35 with a huge run on that front straightaway, now charging quick. You know, he's got Dan on the inside. And again, drivers are going to try to use that inside lane as their shoot, as their drop shoot. A drop shoot being that they're going to try to use it as a lane choice to basically go down low and then up high quickly. Oh! As Dan Park gets up with the wall protection there, nicely done on the save, but definitely lost time from that. You can't smack that wall around and expect that it's not going to give you an inch. That's far from the truth. It won't give an inch, and it does not like to be pumped around down there. It's like you always say, you poke the bear around these parts of town, you're not going to be liking what you get later. We've got ourselves a new leader, the number 9, Michael Larch. Larch has received a granted choice to take the lead away there from Greathouse and Boulder, but how long can he hold on for? That's going to be very difficult, honestly, in his circumstance, to kind of stay one step ahead of the corners and step ahead of the controls here, knowing that, again, every driver is for themselves. They don't care about who goes where, who does what. All they truly care about is just getting to the top of the mountain. 550 horsepower package they are running in the truck series today. And again, one thing too we got to mention, again, compared to the 550 you usually see when you were running Gen 6 in the Cup cars here, the biggest difference here again is we're going to be seeing a lot of drivers be pushing these trucks to their aerodynamic limits. They are aerodynamically strong in terms of landing that traffic, landing themselves up to speed. But when it comes to code, the tire wear will affect a lot of what these things can do. So in reality, what I expect of these drivers early on is those to take shots quickly to get up to the front. But honestly, those that lay low and save the tire or save the fuel may have a distinct advantage if things go sour later in the race. Either way, though, right now, things have been remaining clean and green, just the way we like it. You're on board with Kevin Asiano in that number 4 Chevrolet Silverado. He's got a nice little Toyota Tundra to deal with there, and Dan Park right up ahead of him. Got a little 3 wide salute there as you're coming right off through to turn number 3 and 4. Come out clear. Dalton McKinney, the number 46. That's another name you've heard around these parts. He is driving the McDingers number 46 Silverado today. A driver of the Threat Level Midnight Motorsports crew. You've heard those guys before, and yes, they are still around. They're still kicking. They love to have a good shootout. They love to have a good run and a good battle out there. And right now, they are doing what they can to stay in control and in contention as we now approach our battle for the race lead between the number 51 of Gray House and the number 9 of Larch. Big push and a jump from Daniel Balder to the number 51 as now Balder goes to the outside trying to get a run to get back to the inside, but here comes Jake Loesch. The Loesch in the Loco exteriors making his move and making his presence felt. And a lot of these drivers, honestly, early on, are just kind of getting themselves a little bit of a shot, kind of figuring where the racing line is and where to go. We talked about it a second ago there with Balder. These guys are going to be in the throttle and having to constantly be dealing with the draft packs for the first set of this race. As time goes on, though, and we get past that regulatory caution, what's going to be interesting to see is just how tough that these guys are dealing with in terms of keeping themselves under control and keeping themselves away from having to overextend and overexpend on the speeds. It's a very difficult process here that I guarantee a lot of them are just kind of keeping a close eye on the longer this one goes. Down 5 spots right now as Trevor Williams started in the 4th spot here with the number 1 as he currently sees everybody going at it a little bit. Oh, it's getting a little bit loop-de-doop and lopsided. The number 21 of Ben Park not able to keep it straight off the corner. And again, that's what overall that speed and power will do to you. The aerodynamics of the truck can hold on to you for a while, but the thing is, the more you get it out of shape, you get it less centered off and out of control, it's going to get yourself into that mess and into that problem. So the closer you are, it's going to end up basically kind of turning yourself into running into a wind tunnel to all of a sudden running into a tornado. You thought you were just pushing up against the wind, and then you realize next thing's up, the wind is pushing up against you. Well, I would certainly not want to be in the shoes of that 21 right now. Ben Park's been just given to deal with literally a double trouble tango there from the number 1 and the number 7 of Trevor Williams and Jake Loesch. Side by side for a good bit of that one there, but managed to keep it relatively clean and staying out of problematic territory. Michael Larch here, still your race leader. Greyhouse earlier on there, he was having a good battle trying to get a move on him and almost had a shot there taking him down. I'm not totally sure if maybe that was just on his end or on his front, that he wasn't quite able to keep it stable and under control, but from the looks of it, it looked like maybe if anything else, it was really starting to hold his ground and push himself into contention with how troublesome that fuel and that strategy was going to come in at him. This high banking end of Juliet, again, that's going to be another thing that we talk about here. Passing opportunities are not few and far between. There is multiple ways to pass here. You've got the bottom group to shoot it down, get the fastest lane past the other driver, and then shoot up for the slider. You've got the middle group, which is where most drivers will want to try to tango down and keep that lane in control. Oh, that's problems for the number 7 of Jake Loesch. Not sure what the heck happened there. Looks like he entered into pit road and then came on out the other side. We'll take a look at the replay here and see what exactly he was doing down there, because I'm not totally sure if he was just trying to get himself squared up there or what was going on. Oh no, he went in pit road on his own accord. He just went in there. Perhaps trying to figure out a fuel strategy here. Very interesting and dilemma for him in my opinion, but I don't know how to really that plan fares out, because that's going to put him at least a lap down, and if he's not careful, he's going 2 laps down. Continuing to roll on though, again, 60% of fuel. I would have to assume probably they're going to get roughly about, I'm going to go on a limb and I'm going to say probably closer to about 35 to 45 laps of fuel if I'm going to judge off my instincts and what I know from the truck series. It's going to be very enticing to see just really, yep, okay, well, I'm completely off. I said 35 to 25. No, they're going into pit road right now. You've got a couple of them, Ben Park and Dean Gagliano and Riley Mobley. That is your field that went into pit road there. So perhaps that was a little too harsh on Jake Loesch. Maybe he's got a strategy cooked up and now he's just trying to use it to his advantage. Bo Tiffany now 5 spots up, started in 10th, currently hard charging his way up. Sean Long, though, the hard charge award recipient, he started 16th, he's in 10th. And it's crazy to think, like, a lot of these names I do recognize quite a bit here. Broadcasted for them before, as much as I've also raced with them before. They ain't no slouches down there, I'll tell you that. When they get them dialed in and they get things figured out, man, they are absolutely hard as to be to take down there. Dalton McKinney slowing up for pit road here. He'll go in now. And again, the competition caution to come out here on lap number 120 as we roll through in a very precise gap and controlling position here. Everybody wants to take top honors, but again, only one is going to get themselves into victory lane today. Another one down into pit road. This time it will be Dan Park. Dalton McKinney out of pit road here. He's also trying to get himself back into contention. And you can see again now just how quick things kind of separated out. Again, when we talk about having to run the gap and run the bridge, again, when you're a race leader, you got to stay on that throttle the whole time. You're not letting up. You want to basically keep yourself under control and keep yourself in good contention, while at the same time dealing with the pressure that lanes up front. Oh, and that's exactly what happened there too. The number 35, Bo Tiffany, sideways entering into pit road, no caution. They keep it green, but man, nice save from him, but everyone else, oh my. Not only did they avoid trouble, they honestly almost got themselves into trouble. That will leave Trevor Williams outside here now. Probably if I was him, I'd go into pit road and get that thing squared up. Kevin Asiano, same situation, same with Anthony Brown. The rest of pit road coming out, and Michael Larch will be the first one out of that main gate. Who will be able to beat him out though? Because here comes Dalton McKinney. He's rising to the occasion, and he's trying to get some sheer speed off those corners. Larch gonna try to go up and block him. He's got speed here. McKinney knows this trick though. He's gonna try to stay to the outside. He's gonna try to use that momentum he's got and stay away from the bottom lane. Now comes the draft line. Can he nail that drive off the front? He's trying to get that truck hooked up and lined up there for a draft push and maybe able to kind of sucker back in that number 9. He's having some troubles though, as they're now gonna have to work their way around the other set of pit road, guys. Here they come. I applaud the strategy of Trevor Williams there, but it didn't look like, unfortunately, he was able to kind of keep it in contention long enough. Michael Larch back in the race lead. And you can just see the determination there in the mind of that number 46 driver, trying to get threat level Midnight Motorsports back to the top of the mountain. Laying it away right now, you got 3 trucks battling hard here. Ben Park, Riley Mobley, and Jake Loesch. They are now in the mix and in the fight. The steel precision machine of number 21's Ben Park here, still hanging on by a good little shot in the dark, trying to hang on by a thread. Down to the bottom lane goes number 21, Ben. Last time he was down there, the rear end slipped out underneath him, wasn't able to make that pass. Now trying to put some Tundra speed back in it. You're starting to see too, a lot of drivers are starting to migrate up towards the outside lane. You're probably wondering at home, why are they migrating towards the top if the bottom is faster? Here's the thing, the more you turn that truck in, the more wear and tear you're putting on the right sides of the tire, Because again, the way the truck levels out, the truck basically takes all that weight from left, shoots it to the right, and because it's not a twisted sister design like a Gen 4, the body basically has to transfer to another way. While even though you got banking, all that weight goes strictly on that tire, and that rubber burns in to the sides of the sidewalls and down in the spot. So again, taking pit strategy calls and fuel strategy mileages aside, it's very difficult to really nail down a good pinpoint accurate shot at what you're doing and what you're aiming for when the field is just that tight and that out of control in this case. Onboard shot here with the number 17, Anthony Brown. As you can see him closely getting up there with that number 11, Dan Park. And again, look at the, again, I want you to look on the right side of your screen there. You see on the left side there, notice how the body doesn't have that little corner cup, that little spot there stabilizing the truck. Notice that. That's because, again, the right side is where all the weight distributes, so they want to offset the design in the framework and everything and make sure that the truck has some leveling to work with and to use. And that's why, again, these things can run as hard as they do at a 550 horsepower package. They're basically going full bore, full speed with all the weight destroying right on there. Again, it's just really a matter of taking care of the tires and taking care of your truck, not to get it damaged up, because any of those fenders get cooked up, well, let's just say the aerodynamic property of these things turns into a bit of a troublesome little situation. Man, Dalton McKinney right now, and that number 1 of Trevor Williams certainly having a go at it here. Trevor again kind of holding that bottom lane down and kind of showing what he's up to and kind of what he's been really kind of throwing down on the circuit here. But it's hard to really give you a good detailed idea of which one is getting the better of the other without some kind of little foreshadowing, if you will. So here is your time deltas. Just a couple more laps left to go before we're going to complete out our stage caution here. You can see Park currently having to deal with the troublesome number 1 of Williams as he's closely and guardedly trying to get up there to him. Only gained a 1/10 of a second on lap 35, but ever since then it's been pretty much slow down city for him. Park definitely using that to his advantage and staying one step focused on his run and in control. As for that number 9, well, let's just say if he's not careful, Mobley might have something for him. One more lap to go this next time on by. Mobley looking deep into the corners. Michael Arts trying to hold him down. How much pressure is Michael Arch feeling right now as they work their way down toward the end? Track positioning is a lot of things, and here in Chicagoland, in my opinion, it is going to be the thing that will, in all honesty, be your saving grace. Do you stay in the lane you need, or do you go for broke? And right now, Mobley, he went for broke. He got the run. He's up on the outside there, hard in the wall, trying to get off that thing. Gets off it, but Michael Arch off the corner, taking full advantage of it, and is going to send us to the stage caution. Very, very impressive showing there on the number 9 of Michael Larch. Larch honestly able to kind of keep that rhythm to himself. Mobley, give him credit where credit's due, man. He absolutely sent it. Got a huge run, and I thought honestly that might have been enough there to kind of get himself squared up and taken care of here. But unfortunately, it was not to be. Let's go ahead and have a chat real quick with him. Ladies and gentlemen, Riley Mobley now joining me here on the chat here. And Riley, big run there coming down to the stretch there before the stage caution. I know you were really putting it hard there to Michael Large. Talk me through that last bit and what happened there at the very end.
Well, I'm pretty quick on the top around here on the long run, so I was just using that to my advantage. I got past the 9, and then I just blew it. There's nobody to blame but me. Happy to come home second, trying to fight for a spot in the championship war. This is a good start for the night. Let's try to bring her home.
Any kind of thoughts on this last stretch here now that the stage caution has kind of come off and now you have to really run it for the longest bit here now?
It's going to make the fuel complicated because we're not going to have as much fuel as we thought we were going to, but just going to make it more interesting for you guys up front or above.
Well, make it up front, in the front, and on the top, and everywhere around. I think, Riley, you're putting on a show for him. Good luck out there. We'll see you later on.
Appreciate it.
Riley Mobley, ladies and gentlemen. We'll give the drivers a second here to get in and out of pit road as we now take to the skies. This is going to be an interesting pit call from these drivers here. We'll see what comes of it. We're down at pit road now. You can see everybody's going to take tires. They're going to get fuel. Right side's for sure. Left side's on. Where do we go from here? Hard charger's coming out. Michael Lark's trying to hurry. He's got him. Got it there. Mobley was able to come out second. Third will be Parks. Fourth will be McKinney. And fifth will be Williams out the gate. Well, we chatted with a good bunch of them earlier, but now it's time to chat up with the driver that had the best run out of all of them. We now chat with the number 9 of Michael Larch. And Michael, honestly, out of the gate, man, you went firing, you went swinging, you went from third, got to the top spot, and then had a great battle there remotely running to the caution line there. I'll ask you this. What is it going to take to hold these guys off for the next laps you got to bring to here?
It's definitely going to be hands on the wheel here. All you can get from it. Pretty much like super speedway racing from here on out. I did what I had to there to win that stage. I'm right on the cutoff of making it to the next round of the playoffs. It's going to be intense. It's going to get crazy, but hopefully we can keep it clean and have fun.
For sure there. Michael, really, anybody else kind of want to thank you for getting you into this king tonight and try to get yourself the top spot for that victory here from the ditch caution?
Yeah, I guess my buddy Dean Gagliano, he's the one that kind of pulled me into this, and all the guys that help run this. It's been fun so far, but we still got a couple races to go here.
Absolutely. All right. Well, Michael, we won't keep you around much longer. Suit up, strap up, and tighten them belts up because it's ready to go back at it, buddy.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Michael Larch, ladies and gentlemen. Gun Dog Motorsports driver as well as Dean Gagliano. We'll try to talk with some more drivers as we go along with tonight. We'll be in and out of the booth a little bit here as we're now getting ready to get back to the action. Ooh, what must these drivers be feeling? What must be going through their minds? They have completed 40 laps of hard racing. Pit stops set them back a little bit in the game. Now it's time to see what we bring to the table. Green flag back on out here in Joliet. Another good start from Michael Larch. Riley Mobley right there in the background looking on. But here comes Ben Park, the number 21. It's a Toyota mixed in between a Silverado sandwich. Trying to be the meat and potatoes of this one, but now he'll have to try to be the wheat bread that is on top of a white and a turkey sandwich because now Mobley and Larch got ahead there with Williams now protruding. Oh, down to the corners there, almost a 3-wide salute tandem there as the number 2, Daniel Balder, looked on with intent, looked on with a spot. Oh, a little bit loose off the corner there, down McKinney, get by. Nicely done there by McKinney and the other drivers as we go 4 wide right down the front straightaway. Still side by side, both drivers tagging fenders, 3 wide entering in turn 1. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Oh my! Then you can see the number 4 there as well, Kevin Alziano. He's getting loose off the district, trying to save it around. Ball driver is managing to come out of it cleanly, but my word, that could have been disastrous. You can't get lucky breaks like that without being a good driver. Got really off the cusp there and got a little bit into the tango scenario, but managed to stay clearer and clear of everything else that was going on. When we said we rack stack and put them back on the attack, we don't lie. That was exactly what you got there. They were absolutely all over the place. No driver was given an inch to the other. It was all just a matter of who made the mistake, who got the right timing down. It was the number 2 of Daniel Balder that kind of initiated it. But with McKinney getting loose, he had nowhere to go and almost sent him back to the Shadow Realm. Thankfully, that did not end up happening. Still nearly 3 wide down the corner now, Anthony Brown, our only Swedish driver around here today. Having a little bit of fun with the Americans and our lone Canadian, Patrick Dobransky. 3 countries represent this one. USA, of course, Sweden, as I just mentioned, and Canada. Being driven by the guy right now that's currently dealing with an American sandwich there. He's on the bottom of the number 84 of Sean Long and the outside of Jake Lush. Driving a very heartfelt tribute, little scheme on the front there with the 16 Forever machine. Wally Babb has joined us in the comments. Who's rooting for who? Who do you got in the comments section? Let us know, race fans. Feel free to chat up. But I swear I do pay attention to these things. Man, the power these things are generating and that aerodynamic draft that they're pushing through and trying to hang in there with. It's honestly got to be just absolutely cooking them right now, realizing where they're at and what they're doing and trying to hold down the racing lane, trying to hold themselves in contention. Nobody right now is safe though, and now here we go. We've got ourselves a battle for the race lead. 3 trucks battling, Park, Williams, and Larch. Taking a look at our lap time marker right now. Look at Larch. Again, this might just be him backing down a bit, maybe just trying to get his nerves settled in. You heard him say a second ago, he is after major playoff implications, major points here. So perhaps he doesn't want to override the fuel and override that speed. But you can just see how tough it's getting right now. Dealing with company on his doorstep and all around him. Shooting up to the gap right now, the number 21 of Ben Park. Starting to look a little bit woozy-doozy down there. He's going to get a good look at that around that inside of the number 1. A lot of drivers, though, they're going to be trying to kind of narrow down the strategy because, again, speed is going to be a big crucial factor in terms of that long run. But so many of them right now, honestly, I'm kind of impressed. They've been able to kind of stay within range of one another as they've also been staying in control of their own destinies. Not trying to overdo it and trying to push themselves into a spot they don't want to be in. Get a good look on the onboard camera here with Sean Harrell. As he's trying to get to that Fernanza number 84. That of Sean Long. And you can just tell by the focus in his eyes right now how he's holding that steering wheel down. Again, that what you see on your screen is exactly in the other world what they're dealing with on the virtual side. Again, these racing wheels, they don't just turn like that for no good reason. They are literally turning like that day in and day out with numerous amount of laps, numerous amount of times thrown onto the circuit, just trying ever so graciously to figure out the best strategies and the best calls to use for their team and for what they're going to bring to the table. continuing to maintain the pace and maintain their distance right now, still from the grounds keep here. Ben Park and Trevor Williams trying to nail down their runs here as they're still dealing with pressure there from a Asiano. Whoa, that was pretty close to the draw there. Woo-hoo-hoo. You saw that nose almost go right up into between thereof. I don't know what on earth Williams and Park must be thinking, but Asiano, I know what he's thinking. He's thinking to try to make a run quick. He's got threat level Midnight Motorsports in his blood, but he's currently working with the Lucky Dog Racing Team. And now he's got even more company on his doorstep because they're down that 35 of Bo Tiffany. Oh, no, 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 no! Oh, no! Mobley into a wall off of turn number 3 as we got a caution out of the track. Oh, we talked about it earlier, how quick things can change on a dime, and you just saw that there. Oh, my goodness. Watch again. Bo Tiffany again. He tries to get right in there. He tried to back off. He didn't want to hit Mobley, but Asiano was going down into Mobley and nowhere to go for him. Unfortunately, ends up throwing him into the wolves, and that was a nasty, nasty little collision. That certainly is not going to help his tires any. Watch one more time. Watch Asiano as it comes down a little bit. Again, probably got suckered in off that wall. And then that aerodynamic pressure pushing him closer into the 0.5. And with that 35 down there, well, let's just say that is nowhere to go and no man's land approached. Oh, my goodness. What a terrible, terrible, terrible collision. Everybody heading for pit road. Well, it's going to be interesting to see who does what here and what their decisions are in this case. Pit stops engaged now as they roll into the speed, as they roll in. We'll have to see what their strategy is and what they play it out to be here. Off pit road, Michael Larch. Well, no surprise there. Jake Loesch getting into the second spot there. Pit lane times right now, looking at it, looks like some drivers taking only right side, some only taking fuel and rights. And some taking only right and left side tires there, so we'll have to see how that plays out here onto the circuit, as we're now going to be joined in here by the number 46 driver from Threat Level Midnight Motorsports. This is Dalton McKinney now here with us, and Dalton, early into that run there, coming off from the caution restart, man, you gotta probably been having a few bricks coming down there, because man, you were every which way to Sunday and somehow saved it in that mess. How did you even do that, let alone stay in control of that truck?
Oh, it's tough. You know, these trucks get so loose in traffic, and on the early in the run, late in the run, it's kind of a little different. They get real tight. But boy, the rear end just got out from under me. I was able to gather it up. Thankfully, everyone behind me, I couldn't have done it without all of them kind of checking up and giving me a little room as well.
With that much room now, having been spared, now having to tighten things back up again, are the tires going to be able to get warmed up enough from the cold temperatures to be able to stay in control from this one, you feel?
I mean, I just put 4 tires on. I don't know what everyone else did. I feel like we had some guys didn't take any tires. So I think there's going to be a mix here. Them guys are counting on another caution. I felt like it's been a pretty clean race, and I think there's potential for us to go the rest of this thing green. So I wanted the 4 tires, and yeah, we'll just see how we fare out.
All right, well, we do appreciate your time there, Dalton. Good luck, and good luck to your team at Threat Level Midnight Motorsports.
Thank you, Chris. Have a good one.
You too. Ladies and gentlemen, Dalton McKinney, the driver of the number 46. As he approaches to get ready to get back at it here, he's going to be up into the fight zone with every one of them as well. But the man they're all trying to hunt down again is that number 1 driver there. And then number 9, Michael Larch. Race fans, we're getting back down to it. It is showtime again here in Chicagoland. How will the race fare from here? We're past halfway. It's go time. And you heard Dalton just say a second ago, he knows as well there are drivers that decided to only take fuel and not tires. If they feel as though that tire strategy comes into play, honestly, I'd be very interested to see. Greg Williams, F7W says go. Trevor Williams, Johnny Williams, 72 says let's go. Southern Motorsports numbers 11, 17, and 21. Thanks guys for tuning in. Hope you're enjoying the show. I said I read the comments here, guys. I didn't lie. Sean Harrell moving 10 spots up. He started 15th right now, and he's hard charging his way up. Looking to try to make some moves here into the distance and into the groove. Oh, look out ahead of you. We've got ourselves a 3-wide salute for the race lead. Down to the bottom, looking for the slider. Ben Park, the Tundra, getting all she wants. Beautiful corner off and a good run there. We've got a new leader. Woo, boy, oh boy. He just sent that thing from one side down to the other and said, hallelujah, I am your leader. 4 wide for a brief second, right off down from turn number 2. Heading down that back straightaway. Drivers trying to make moves and trying to get corners off. Could Dalton's strategy be at hand? Is he thinking everybody else that did take tires and take fuel be able to come out of it clean? They 3 wide saluted right off of turn number 4, and I don't know how they kept it clean, but they did. Oh, they were battling each other, and they were munching around, knocking each other silly and high and dry. I'm thinking right now Michael Larch is probably one of those guys hoping for that constant play to come out because he's losing ground and he's losing it quick. And again, that tire strategy could play a huge factor, but right now he's just trying to avoid getting into any more trouble than he already is. Ben Park may have the race lead, but he's got company on his doorstep. He goes to the very bottom trying to get more speed on the rhythm. But Williams, he decides to aim towards the high side. Stay clear to his word and stay truthful to himself. He doesn't want to burn the tires off too quick, and he's using that momentum on the outside. Johnny Williams says, I was in the race. No, Johnny, I do apologize, but at least we had you around when we did, bud. It was great to see that rim down there. And speaking of a Williams, you've got a new leader, and his name is Trevor Williams. He's got the race lead now as he jumps right ahead of Ben Park, but again, how much of that is wearing and tearing on the tires, having to shoot that gap so quick and have to run that hard? Is he possibly trying to make a spoiler to get to the final round of 4? Still keeping up the momentum and still keeping themselves on the go. Every driver for themselves here is now the number 51 of Matthew Greathouse, your original pole setter. Now hard charging back into this one. Every driver for themselves here. Dalton McKinney dealing with Asiano behind him. Trying now also to deal with Greathouse behind him. A lot of teams represented in this one. Lucky Dog Racing certainly has a good one there in Greathouse as they're continuing to push themselves through. 3 wide salute down the front straightaway. Greg Williams says, yep, go number 1. I certainly think he's probably a happy camper down there seeing that, but look at that big push there. A big push from the number 51. Got onto the back there, the 21 of Ben Park. And Greathouse currently trying to get out of that 3 wide salute and not trying to get himself into a 4 wide. He's using that 21 as a bit of a shield to push that 4 back. Beautiful strategy by the number 51. That right there is race smarts, folks. That right there is what we call using the brain and using your everything to your advantage. Doesn't matter what or where. It doesn't matter who or how. It just matters that you get it dialed in and figure it out. May not be everybody's cup of tea, but honestly, I respect it. You see an opening, why would you not take it? You go for it. Shoot, they were teaching that stuff back in Cars 3, weren't they? Oh, look for the window. Although I don't think in this case there was a whole bunch of tractors and a whole bunch of things come flying at them. I'm pretty sure they threw everything in that movie except the kitchen sink at Lightning McQueen and Cruz Ramirez, if I remember right. Somebody correct me in the comment section if I'm wrong, though. Tight, short, and odd on the gap right now. Everyone's still nailing down their runs and nailing down their speed. Rolling hard and rolling quick. Nobody is giving an inch. And honestly, right now, you can tell who were the drivers that, I don't know, took all 4 tires. Right now, going by my pit lane timing strategy sheets here, it looks like it was Trevor Williams, Daniel Balder, Dalton McKinney, Bo Tiffany, Matthew Grayhouse, Kevin Aziano, Travis Decker, and Ben Park that took all 4 tires on that last stop. Those that seem to only take 2 are fuel, well, that just so happened to be everybody below them. Is that possibly going to be a factor coming back to haunt them, you wonder? We'll certainly have to keep our eyes peeled. Though I did say earlier, a caution or any mishaps on the run could result in some chaos. But again, that's not what these drivers are looking at right now. What they're looking at is the grounds and what's right in front of them. All they care about right now is staying one step ahead. And look at the gap there. Look at the gap size there. You can see the gap, just how quick taking 4 tires versus not taking those tires is doing on some of these drivers. Man, that's a huge gap right now they are currently feeling up with. Dan Park in the number 11 here trying to stay up there with Sammy Harrell in the number 19 machine. And listen to that. Did you hear it? That's a clutch. That means he's trying to save fuel. He's clutching in the turns, trying to save the fuel run and trying to save up as much time as he can. Now, it doesn't really help the tires in this case, but what it does do is that it stretches whatever fuel is inside that truck and inside of that engine. The longer you can stretch it versus someone who's running as hard as they can, well, it can catch people off guard really quick. Michael Large now trying to make his charge back up ahead here again. He's not going to have much of a chance here with no 4 sets of tires on there. Taking only that fuel, I gotta believe right now it probably irritating him a little bit and probably just realizing now he might have made a mistake unless something crazy happens. We were supposed to have Wally Babb here joining us here in the race booth. But he hasn't quite got in there with us yet. Rolling through on the inside lane. Bo Tiffany trying to wear and tear up that field, trying to get some speed up going as Daniel Balder has now made his charge. Look at this. It's a huge battle for the race lead. Trevor Williams right now, I'm not sure what happened to him. He's slowing up tremendously here, and he just gave that lead there to Daniel Balder. My word, he just pretty much opened the gate up and pretty much just like a thief in the night, he got inside the window and just shut the door and the window all at the same time. I'm not sure what exactly happened to Trevor there. We're going to need to go back and take a look at the speed zone instant replay and see what the heck exactly slowed him up that much. Taking a look at it again, you can see he's slowing up a bit here. Watch how quick these guys catch him though. Perhaps he's trying to clutch and save fuel. That's the only thing I can think of, because there's no way someone's just going to catch up to you that quick and make that move so hard on you. Made the jump and then made the battle, went 3 wide, cleared it, stayed out of trouble. But again, where did that speed come from? And the way it's looking right now, See if we can get it on board. We'll see if I want to listen to him on his turns here. If he clutches in, then we know why he got caught up so quickly there. And wow, we got caught off guard there. Yep, there it is, right there. You hear it. He's clutching into the turn, so he's trying to save that fuel. That's how quick Daniel Balder, Bo Tiffany, and Dalton McKinney, when they were hot on that speed and on that trail, they went full send, full steam ahead. No give and no quit there. Absolutely none. Right now, from the looks of it, looks like we got a couple drivers now down on the lead, off the lead laps. Sean Harrell, Patrick Dobrensky, Dean Gagliano, and Riley Mobley. Unfortunately, right now, all down at least a lap or two. And struggling to keep up pace and struggling to keep up the speed here at the most part. Let's take a look at our fastest times here right now so far. So far, honestly, from the lineup, if you get in that 30-second category, you're speeding as much as you've got a draft line to use up. Our fastest right at the moment is a 30.72. That was set by Kevin Asiano and was set by Sean Long. That was your fastest drivers on that one and on that category. And again, you can see the kind of the distance on the numbers as well from everybody else. That huge amount of speed, that huge amount of run is going to be less and less for the moment. Because now we're looking towards the strategy of trying to get the right fuel call, the right tire saving, and hope that they can find a little bit of that game plan. Glorious fans, if you know us here well on Speed Zone, you know it's that time again. They're starting to crank it up a little bit, so how about we do the same? It's time to crank it up on Speed Zone TV. I gotta love it when we crank things up around here a little bit, as much as the drivers are doing the same. It's time for some pit road stops here. Daniel Balder, Bo Tiffany, Dalton McKinney, Kevin Asiano, and Travis Decker first up in line. Michael Larch already in pit stop territory right now. If I gotta believe right now, probably taking all 4 sets of tires and fuel, which he is. Trevor Williams right now trying to stretch out his fuel run, trying to stretch out his strategy. Not sure how much that'll fare for him, as he's now got company coming up on his doorstep, trying to get his lap back as the 19 is Sean Harrell. And Trevor into pit road. Jake Loesch will join him. Now comes the all-important strategy calls of which one gets the better of the other, which one made the mistake, and which one made the right choice. Balder, McKinney, and Asiano getting back up to speed as Sean Harrell now makes his way up. Sean's honestly been pretty hard on that gas pedal here. He honestly kind of seems like he's starting to focus more on trying to nail down his cornering and nail down his driving technique here. It's going to be very interesting to see where everything kind of lays and lies here on this long-term strategy in this call here. Looks like it was mainly just fuel to go for a few of them down there. Pit lane spots right now at the moment. Lap 89 for a good few of them. Some on 80, some on 88, 90 now. And Dan now to pit road. I think Dan was kind of hoping for a bit of a break or a bit of a shot here in the dark. Not going to get it as Anthony Brown will follow with Ben Park behind him. They fought and scratched and clawed, but they're not going to get that break. Balder is your race leader here, and again, he started today in the second spot. The number 2 starting in second, moved his way up one, currently trying to hold on. Taylor Ellis saying go 19. Taylor, thanks for joining us here on the show. A little love down there for old Sean Harrell. And again, Sean's got 10 spots up right now. Honestly, could be a bit of a threat here. But I'd also argue Patrick Nowinski, he's also going to be a little bit of a threat too in some ways, because right now he went into pit road on lap number 75, and the fact that he is hanging around in the top 10 should tell you a little bit. He's definitely trying to get a pit strategy going as much as he's trying to kind of hang on to it. Little onboard camera here with Dean Gagliano as he's currently dealing with company on his doorstep and on his side. He's working hard on that wheel. You can see him just working that wheel as hard as he can, just trying to keep that thing straight as can be. And again, a lot of people wonder, well, why are you trying to keep the wheel straight more than you're trying to turn into the course? Shouldn't you be wanting to turn more into the course to get more speed? To which that I say, that is not right in this case. The reason that these drivers are want to keep that wheel as straight as possible is because they're trying to get the truck to go as fast as they can. And again, just like drag racing, what do you want to do there? You want to stay straight as possible, right? You don't want it to turn much. That's the same thing in stock car auto racing and road course racing. When you run on ovals or road courses or a drag racing circuit, the straighter the vehicle is, the faster it will be. Hard to believe, I know, but it is the truth. Turning in as much as you do, it ends up actually tearing apart more of your wheel wells and your steering, because you're literally cranking that wheel harder and harder, just trying to get to steer in. After a while, all that rubber you burned off starts to come into effect and really hurt. So while yes, a lot of these drivers are trying to go as fast as they possibly can, there is a downside to it, which is over torquing and over consideration of it will end up costing them more on the long haul. Got a new leader right now as Dalton McKinney has taken the race lead away from Daniel Balder. Take a look and see how he got it done here. Balder giving him a nice little opening there, and McKinney just shooting sheer speed and power underneath the hook. Got it hooked up. Look at that line up there. Sends it from the back to the bottom, down to the top. And again, he hooks that bottom end so well. That's what makes him dangerous sometimes, man. I've dealt with him enough before to know when he gets locked in, he's dangerous. Not in the fact that he's a bad driver or a dirty driver. No, I'm talking he is an aggressive driver. Very cunning as he is clever. And he got it nailed in there pretty good. This Kevin Naziano, though, man, I'm telling you, he's also another guy right now that kind of thought the strategy out right and made sure to work his magic in. He's staying very conservative and consistent here, staying in the zone. And no, I am not talking about AutoZone. Although AutoZone, if you ever do want to sponsor us here, Speed Zone TV, give me a call. We could probably work something out. 21 laps left to go, folks, out of this 120 lap ordeal. Everybody giving it their heart and their soul right now, just trying to hang on. I still wonder though what kind of pressure must be under the mind of that number 2, Daniel Balder, knowing McKinney could be clocking and locking himself in to a nice little spot in the playoffs. Is that something on his mind right now, or is he just focused on trying to make sure the truck gets out in one piece? That is something everybody is thinking and dealing with right now in the back of their minds. Number 35 here of Bo Tiffany. He started 10th. He's currently 6 spots up. And again, I want you to pay close attention to that steering wheel. Notice now after a while how much it was staying straight and it wasn't turning as much. Now look. The more and more that they've been running hard on these things, the more that steering wheel has to turn in just to make the turn or to get them where they want it to. But it's not turning into like a 90 degree or a 9 o'clock position. Now rather, it is simply just turning into about a 10 o'clock to maybe just past 11 o'clock on the left sides of that, managing to keep it nice and conservative and rolled into the straights. After top 5 right now on your screen here, Travis Decker somewhere back there. He's 7 seconds behind here, the number 35 of Bo Tiffany. Decker in that 114, trying to just see if maybe he can hang on here just a little longer, but I honestly think taking all 4 tires is the winning strategy here today. But again, it could always fall either way. You never can be too sure what strategy is going to work, which one will not. Because the thing is, the longer each race goes, the longer each one takes, it starts to wear on your mind a little bit of whether or not are you making that right decision? Are you making the right call? Is it better to take the fuel? Is it better to just take all 4 and the fuel? So many things and so many additives going through your mind and verbiage and your set and your brain. It's got to be, it's absolutely frustrating as a driver when you thought you made the right call only to be outdone by something that's completely out of your control. That's why we always say in racing, it's a cruel sport as much as it's a fun one. At the end of the day, the one thing you don't want to end up being is the one that is below the mistress. Laps winding down longer and longer as we go. Time's ticking, drivers. Time is ticking. Man, you gotta be thinking, man, I gotta believe a lot of them too are so focused right now on so many levels and so many things that they probably don't even really care about the playoffs right now. They probably are just more caring about trying to see if they can get this thing to the end without having consequences be disposed upon them. Clock is ticking, time is winding. Pure focus and unadulterated horsepower, again, just being put to good use and being put on full display today. It's been a long time since we've really been able to see just what these trucks have been able to capable of and what they've been able to really do. But man, some of the changes iRacing has done certainly has made them much trickier and hard to nail down and figure out. Jake Loesch and Sean Long right now battling hard to get back into the top 5 bracket with Travis Decker starting to kind of give them a little bit of an opening here. I did mention this earlier, and I'll kind of explain it again. When you see right there the green pop up, that means that's gain. That is time gain, not time lost, time gain. When it's reddish orange, that is time they lost. Right now, Decker has got to be feeling a lot of pressure because Loesch and Long, throughout the course of these last 5 laps, they've been gaining seconds on him. Not tenths, I'm talking seconds. That certainly has got to be really playing a factor in their head. Daniel Balder and Bo Tiffany not able to stretch out their fuel. They're in pit road now. Question is, how long till McKinney or one of the other drivers go in? McKinney, he's going in now. Michael Larch trying to somehow scratch and claw this one back into his own hands. He went into pit road on lap 89. He's going to have to get fuel now. There's a lot of drivers making a good comeback here and maybe a chance at it, but we're going to have ourselves a new leader as Jake Loesch, the number 7, puts it in to the top spot, but he's currently needing to get fuel as well. I said earlier on that these drivers are probably going to have about 35 to 45 laps of fuel. Well, I was half right. They get about 30 laps on the long run. But again, that's if they clutch and save throughout that entire length of the run. And again, by then, they could be caught up too quickly and maybe losing out too much speed. Again, the reason why they don't see a lot of drivers trying to push the fuel as much as they do is because when you over push that fuel and you try to stretch it out too long, well, let's just say you're going to end up getting caught up by lap traffic and drivers ahead of you. And it's so hard to get that speed back because by then, you don't have enough time to catch them up. Jeffrey Vickery says, let's go. Go for that checker flag right now, and he's certainly going to be excited to see it. Jake Loesch right now, I'm telling you, he's going for the long haul strategy. Sean Long goes into pit road. He's not going to be able to stick it out long enough. Did Jake Loesch somehow figure out a winning formula? Has he figured something? Trevor Williams, not far behind either, the number 1. Remember earlier on, he was right there in that mix too and got himself kind of caught off guard. Dan Park as well in the same boat. Every one of these drivers right now stretching as much as they can. I'm kind of liking more about Dan though because Dan went into pit lane on lap 92. That might be enough, but again, Daniel Balder, he's coming quick and he's charging fast. Another one gonna bite the dust as Trevor Williams, again, he's still saving and scratching and clawing as long as he can. Jake Loesch doing all he can right now to stay one step ahead of this. Only 7 laps to go. 7 laps left for that 7 team. Now turned to 6. Has Jake found the formula? I don't hear him clutching no more. That might be a sign. Did he by chance seemingly figure it out? Did he save enough and stay one step ahead of the transitions from the other drivers? These guys that were up front, they were battling so hard for that race lead and trying to outsmart everybody else. Did possibly they outsmart themselves? That's going to be the question. Again, though, it's not over until it's over. Ooh, the nerves got to be spewing right now. I know what's going through my mind right now, which is just make sure my pit crew keeps talking to me and focus on the track. There he's got clutch again. Is he going to go to pit road or is he going to stay out? No, he stays out. He stayed in it. He's giving Dan, though, a little bit of time to catch up right now. Here's another look at our time gap, the delta. Lap number 116, 7/10 of a second gain. He's about 2.5 off. Loesch right now is in trouble. Not only is he in trouble running out of fuel, he's also in trouble getting caught up to. I said a second ago, I like that strategy that Dan Park had going in later on lap 92. Loesch is in serious trouble. He's 1 second ahead only, and it's going quickly. 3 laps to go. Loesch is trying to stretch that fuel out, but the problem is he's got company on his doorstep. Here comes the number 11 at Dan Park. He's coming fast. He's coming quick. If he gets around Jake Loesch right now, this could seal Loesch's fate. Playoff contention on the line. Championship implications, maybe even more so. Off turn number 4, Jake Loesch puts on the speed, puts the burner on Park. 2 to go. Now it's no longer a matter of trying to save that fuel. It's a matter of racing and saving just enough of that fuel. Loesch trying to hang on, but look at Park. He's right on his corner. He's right there with him. But how much tire does Park have left? Did he abuse too much of it? Loesch goes to the bottom. He throws the aero block. They're going down through turn number 3 and 4. Dan Park on the outside, and Dan Park will get him right off the corner. Jake Loesch had to go to pit road. White flag in the air for the number 11. Jake did everything he could. He stretched it out as long as he possibly was able to. But it looks like it was not to be. A pit stop on lap 92 and then saying to heck with the race and just focus on me is going to land the number 11 of Dan Park in the Toyota Tundra of victory in Chicagoland. He's your winner in the round number 2 race 2 of the NASR H class. Wow! What a performance. And for anyone out there that says, well, he just saved the fuel and got lucky, I would like to remind you, he had to hustle and charge down that number 7 of Jake Loesch by a mere 10 seconds for about 15 to 20 laps ago. And only on lap number 119, finally got around him and used up all that strategy and fuel to take himself to the top of the mountain. Wow. What a performance and what a run. It's a celebration time. That Steel and Company of the NASR is certainly going to be feeling pretty good about this one. What a race. Final results coming up on your screen. Dan Park is going to pull off the victory. Trevor Williams going to go second. Third's going to go to Daniel Boulder. Fourth's going to go to Dalton McKinney. Fifth to Bo Tiffany. Sixth to Kevin Asiano. 7-2 Michael Larch. Eighth's going to go to Matthew Greathouse. Ninth goes to the 114 of Travis Decker. And then finally the 19 of Sean Harrell going to take himself to the top 10. The rest of your racers on your screen. I am out of breath, as you can tell, and I cannot talk to save my life now. Let's chat with our top 3 drivers, ladies and gentlemen. He now joins me here. He's our 3rd place finisher today. Just 1 spot down from where he qualified. The number 2, Daniel Boulder, going to go second and third, win this one. And Daniel, you started second, is what I was meaning to say, and ended up going down to 3rd. But I got to believe for you and your team, this was a points day you both needed in this case, wasn't it?
Hope it was enough. I don't think I scored enough stage points. It'll be interesting to see where I end up. Probably pretty close to the cut line, but good thing to capitalize there at the end.
Good thing you capitalized indeed. I know obviously you had a later race pit strategy call, made it in there quickly and got out of there as fast as you could. I know a lot of the other guys kind of outflanked you there a little bit with the fuel run strategy, but all in all, I mean, what was kind of the mindset you're coming into the last bit of that race?
Just trying to save fuel, but also keep some track position, because if you fall back, you just can't pass. And so it was a little bit of playing both games, and I don't know. I think we overall did a good enough job. I think only out of everybody that had to do the pit again, I think I finished ahead of everybody, so not bad.
Not bad at all indeed. Well, Daniel, You're coming away today in the top 3 for a podium today. I'm going to ask you, who do you want to thank you for this one?
I'll just everybody here that puts this league on and all the competitors. It's a good league, good clean racing every week, pretty much. And thanks to you for putting on this broadcast last minute, I guess. Good thing they got someone to cover them.
For sure there. Well, hey, Daniel, nevertheless, man, congratulations getting it on down for a 3rd place finish. We hope to see you soon enough, sir.
All right, thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Daniel Balder, your 3rd place finisher here today. He's joining me now here in the booth, race fans. Here, your runner-up today here in the number 1, Trevor Williams. And Trevor, pretty much all day long, man, you were fighting, scratching, and clawing, took the lead late in that one, fell back there after that. I assume that was probably from the fuel strategy and the pit saving, wasn't it?
Yes, sir. That was crazy. We all were talking about it, in our team chat, and we knew it was going to come down to the fuel, but the iRacing's thing where it tells you how much fuel you have left was super interesting tonight, because if you saved for a few laps, it really took the average down to where if you got back on the gas for a lap, you'd lose like 3 laps in fuel. So it was really hard to figure out, but glad we got on the podium.
Got on the podium and had a good long stretch there for that run. I know obviously ended up being a complete hard charge for that fuel end and that fuel run. I mean, for you and your team though, I mean, do you think this will kind of help do you in for the point system and as well as get you closer to that championship hunt?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, we came into tonight with 4 of us eligible to make it. So, I mean, I don't know if all of us made it, but I know that we had good enough nights that, we definitely kept ourselves in the conversation.
Certainly there indeed. Well, nevertheless, Trevor, man, congratulations coming home second. I'm going to ask you as well, who do you want to thank you for this one?
Yeah, thanks. Always, first and foremost, my dad. He's always watching. I appreciate that. He's always rooting me on in whatever I do. I really want to thank you guys for filling in tonight and, making it so my dad and everybody else can watch. It's pretty important. NASR, just the league in general, and all my teammates, and it'll be interesting here to see how the championship points lead out. Hopefully as many of us made it as possible.
For sure there. Well, hey, Trevor, man, congratulations putting on a great run and a good show there, getting it 2nd place today, man. Congratulations.
Thanks, Chris.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Trevor Williams in the number 1. And now, I think this guy's been waiting long enough here, folks. He pulls off the strategy of the century and pulls off a victory in Chicagoland. Dan Park has joined us here. And Dan, my word, sir, you hard charged it as our hard charger award recipient. You outsmarted the field and just took this one home in a long haul, long strategy run. What in the heck is going through your mind right now as you have won here in Chicagoland, sir?
I'm speechless, man. Like, that race was crazy for me because like my teammates were doing the same strategy I was. Save fuel, make it to the end. And they were both very, very close to making it, and I was a lap to the good, and I was like, why are you guys having so much trouble compared to me? Like, it's kind of crazy.
Kind of crazy, and ends up putting yourself in the highest position, the highest point. I mean, man, obviously a championship battle on the line and all things up for grabs. I mean, how much really was this meaning to you and really for your whole set and your crew out there? Because, man, you guys were pushing that thing to its limits tonight just to get there.
Yeah, like in my mind, when after the stage break was the only chance I have to possibly moving on was win the race, and I looked at the laps, topped off, and I was like, I can do this. I have the chance to win this race if I can save the fuel to make it. And I was able to save it.
You were able to save it. You were able to be the one that everyone has to bow to tonight. You are on top of the mountain here in Chicagoland. Dan, who is going to be the ones that got you into victory lane today?
Well, I got to thank my teammates down at Southern Motorsports. Like, without them rooting for me and cheering me on, like, it's hard to not do this. All the guys in the league, like, it's a super clean race. Like, one caution for actual incident. And then Michael Steele, Michael Steele Graphics and Design, the paint. and I dedicate all my races to my dad. Lost him last year, and this is 2 wins in the same week for me.
Well, I gotta say, Dan, I think somebody was riding with you as much as they were giving you the Angels wings tonight to make sure that fuel topped off to victory lane. Congratulations getting it done tonight, buddy.
Thank you, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for your race winner tonight, the number 11, Dan Park. Well, with that said, race fans, we've concluded another show. And what a show here for a NASR playoffs here tonight. Can't thank them again enough here for having us come on board here tonight. I hope that we made sure to put on a good show and hopefully put on something for you fans out there as well that have been watching all night. We appreciate your time tonight. From all of us here at Speed Zone TV, this has been a presentation tonight for National Association of Sim Racers, NASR, if you will, and their racing league. Again, if you want to join us on iRacing, feel free to get onto the service, get onto the servers, and go find a league of your choosing. And who knows, maybe one day you'll be seeing us getting the announced to call for you out there. But for nevertheless, from all of us here at Speed Zone TV, thank you everyone, and we appreciate your time. Have a good night.